नमस्कार। नमस्कार। आप सभी लोग अपने घर पे सानंद स्वस्थपूर्वक रह रहे होंगे तथा अपनी पढ़ाई भी कर ही रहे होंगे, ऐसी मुझे आशा है। As yesterday we have completed our topic about the plant breeding, in which we have talked about that why we have to need this plant breeding and how the plant breeding program will done in our farms or in our labs. But after that there is a thing, there is a question that the plant breeding is done for what? Not only for the high yielding varieties, it should be also for some other things, that is the plant breeding for the disease resistance. Means disease resistance means generally how these plants can help for the disease resistance. First of all, you have to know what is resistance. Resistance means it is the power of any organism which can just always prevent or protect itself from the different pathogens like fungal, bacteria and other substances. So we can say these organisms cannot be affect those things. So the resistance means it can the genetic ability of a plant to prevent the pathogen from the causing diseases, as well as means generally the development of resistance in the plant basically for the production, increasing of the production and the reduces the dependency of the fungicides and the bactericides. Means we have to not always dependent to avoid the diseases, avoid the pathogens from the some our pesticides or the insecticides. For that we have to develop our these plants, means they can capable to itself, there is no effects over them. That's why we have to need such type of things. For that we have to know basically the pathogens like fungi, bacteria and virus, they can affect our plants. That's why we have to also have to pay attention about these things. That's we have to that generally some disease causing means the fungi can cause some specific type of disease like the brown dust of wheat, especially it's been seen in the wheat plants. Red rot of the sugar cane, you have seen whenever you can just take a sugar cane and when you can use it, you can get red colors lines inside that sugar cane. And late blight of potato means these are generally these wheat, sugar cane, potato means they can be affected by the such type of the disease with the help of the fungi. Later on bacteria can also provide some diseases like black rot of the crucifers, blight blight of the rice and citrus canker. You can see all the diseases in your general life. Whenever you go to a market, you will buy such type of things, you will get such type. So you have to aware about that. You have to not buy such diseases affected materials because their cost is also decreases, as well as and their nutrition value also decreases. That's why we have to pay attention over them. These are very dangerous diseases for us. Next is virus. Virus you can generally not seen about this tobacco mosaic and turnip mosaic. Means these are the different viruses which can affect the leaf of these plants. Means they can be affected directly on these plants. That's why it can be destroy our plants with the help of these. So we have to also think that how they can be managed. So there are different methods for the breeding of for disease resistance, means how the plants can be breeds for the disease resistance. Basically there are two methods. Number one is conventional breeding techniques and the second one is mutation breeding. Means conventional breeding techniques, in this technique basically the different steps can be followed. Means the people can select and the screening of the germplasm for the disease resistance. Means first of all they go into the field and there over they will selected the germplasm, means the plant or the seeds which are disease free. After that they can hybridizations of the selected plants, means they can hybrids and they can able to prepare about those things, right? So we can understand about this one. After that, they can select an evolutionary of the hybrid, means that breeding program. You can memorize that breeding program steps. They can be followed with such type of things. That's why this can be take place over there. After that, the testing and release of the new varieties, means all those breeding programs can be, you can say, they are the conventional type of the breedings. That's why we can capable to get the very high yielding materials or high yielding breeds of the plants. Basically, if we talk about the different conditions in our surroundings, that by using of this conventional methods, we have developed different varieties of the different cereals. We can get the such type of thing. Means, for example, we talk about the wheat, that is a Himgiri variety which can be resistance to disease of the leaf and strips rust, hill burnt, such type. Means Himgiri is resist for the leaf and strip rust and hill burnt. As well as Brassica, means that is mustard, means Pusa somerim, means it is a variety, it is the name of variety, that is Karan Rai, right, which is all with white rust, resistance against the white rust. Then we talk about the cauliflower, that is Pusa subra and Pusa snowball K1, that is always resist against the black rot, curl, blight, black rot. And the cowpea Pusa Komal, this is the cowpea change in the variety, that is called Pusa Komal. So this variety can always help for us for the conventional things. And the chili, as we are generally familiar, that is called the Pusa Sadabahar. It is always resistant to disease, that is called chili mosaic virus and tobacco mosaic virus and leaf curl. Means these are the different diseases for which the conventional breeding method can be utilized to make the Himgiri, Pusa somerin and Pusa subra and the Pusa Komal, Pusa Sadabahar of different crops varieties. It can be developed. But there is a disadvantage of this process is also, that is that the limited number of the disease resistance green genes are present. Means in these plants there is a very limited number of genes are present for the disease resistance. And there is another limitations is that limited number of disease resistance gene have to identify in crop varieties of the wild relatives. Means they are related to their wild one, but they have some disadvantages over them. That's why these are not utilized in daily continuously in our life, but still they are very useful for us. There is another mechanism, that is mutation breeding. Mutation breeding means by this method can help to genetic variation is achieved through the changes in the base sequences within the genes, which creates a new characters or a trait absent in the parental generation. Means with the help of this mutation, generally first of all we have to what is mutation, as you have learned in previous classes, in previous lesson, the mutation when the sudden change in the genes. Means if we can capable to change the genes in that variety, in that breed, means which are not found in their parents, so this is called the mutation. Means, and mutation breeding is the process of breeding by artificially inducing mutation using chemicals, basically the special chemicals like aniline and radiations. Means generally this mutation breeding is done by adding some chemicals, means to change the genes, and these changes of the genes, the new variety can be developed, or with the help of using radiations, gamma radiations, due to which there is also a mutation will take place. For that there are different steps can be used for this, that is called the mutation. So there is a different steps can be take place, there different mechanism take place through which the plants can be utilized or under this mutation breeding. For that the first one, that is inducing the mutation in plant by the various means we can use this mutation by different mechanisms, different methods, by chemical or by the radiations. Second one, the screening the plant for the resistance, means we have to first check out, we have to first get that plant in which we have to use this type of process for the mutation. Then after that, selecting the desirable plant for the multiplication of the breeding, means after that we have to select the specific type of plants which we want to get the different characters in our new plants. For that there are different mechanisms. So generally these process will take place, that's why we can do. But there are some specific things, especially if we talk about the mung beans. You all are familiar with that mung beans, I think so, right? So these mung beans resistance to yellow mosaic virus and powdery mildew were introduced by mutation, means generally a specific type of substance which utilized in such type of beans, mung beans, which can be always make it for the development, and it can capable to provide a large amount of productions. On the other hand, there is another example, that is the bhindi. You all are familiar with this bhindi. It for the making this bhindi, or you can say generally there is a specific things which can so many times asked, that is called Prabhani Kranti. Sometimes people can, or some students are very confused because it is very short one in the NCERT. That's why we can never read it for that one. But here you have to understand about that. This Prabhani Kranti, it is basically done for the bhindi. You know that one, right? Bhindi, I think everybody know about it. Generally, whenever this bhindi is made to be the yellow mosaic virus, means it can be become a resistance against or the for the yellow mosaic virus, due to which there is a large amount of production will take place, in which generally it can be done with the help of the wild species of this bhindi. That's why we can say this can capable to make the large amount of growth of the such type of, we can say about the bhindi. That's why generally this Prabhani Kranti can capable to increase the total productivity of this crop in our surroundings. That's why we can say it is very important for the plant breeding, and which can always help. Then we have also think about that after the plant breeding for the resistance against the disease, we have to also think about that the plant breeding for the development resistant to the insects and pests also, because generally the most of the places the crop can be directly affected by the some specific type of insects. As we are familiar in these days or the previous months, we have heard about the attack of the that grasshoppers, or you can say tiddi, which are generally in our Rajasthan and Haryana places. That's why in that states they can affect a large amount of the productions of different kinds of crops. That's why we have to also develop some resistance to the insects and pests also, because they can generally, suppose we can provide a enormous amount of water, sufficient quantity of the fertilizers, different nutrients, all these things, but later on if such type of insects and pests can be capable to destroy our crops also, so there should be developing of the resistance to the insects and pests. So the host crop plant may be resistant to insect and pest. Why? Because morphological, biochemical and physiological characteristics, means some plants can be morphologically and biochemically or by some other mechanisms, they should be also become the resistance. For that different things, means how they can be develop such type of things which can capable to makes the crop that it becomes the resistance to insects and pests. For that, the hairy leaves in the plants, if the plants are hairy leaves, means if the leaf contains the hairs like structure due to which the insects and pests cannot be affect directly the leaves of those plants, so our plant can capable to maintain or protect from them. Means the hairy leaves in the plants which can resistance to disease in the cotton and the cereals leaf beetle in wheat, right? Means generally we can give the example of such type acid in cotton as well as the cereal leaf between in the this wheat. On the other hand, the solid stem in the wheat exhibits non preference by the stem soft fly. Means generally soft fly cannot be effects to the wheat stem. Next one, in cotton, smooth leaves and absence of the nectar repel glowworms. Basically, if the plants have the specific good smell, due to which these insects and pests can be attracted towards them, that's why they can capable to affect them. So if we can have know that the cotton plant smooth leaf and there is an absence of nectar, means they cannot show any specific type of fruit juice, you can say. So they can the bollworm can always away from the cotton plants. And if we talk about the in maize plants, basically in maize the high aspartic acid, low nitrogen and sugar content protect them from the stem borers. Means due to absence of such type of things, low amount of the nitrogen and high amount of the aspartic acid, due to which the borers, which can borers means the small insects which can make the holes in the stem. If the stem will become have the large amounts of holes, it can be destroy our plants. So we can say that such type of techniques, such type of mechanisms for the making the plant development resistance to the insects. Instead of that, there's different varieties of different crops which can be generally utilized against the specific insects. For example, if we talk about that in case of the brassica, you know the brassica means generally it is the parts of the mustard. Means it is a variety that is called Pusa gauro. Pusa gauro, it can always help to protect against insect that is called aphid, right? So means this brassica variety can be developed, that is called the Pusa gauro, which can be always resist against the pests that is called the aphid. In the same way, there is a flat beans which can be also protected, developed as a new variety that is called Pusa same 1 and Pusa same 3, same 2 and same 3, which are maybe always resist against that is the insect that acid, aphids and fruit borers. I mean these are different things which can be also affect such type of things. That's why we can say. In the same way, okara means the vindi. Generally this can it can also develop some hybridizations conditions, hybrid varieties, that is called Pusa swamini and the Pusa A4. This can be also against the insect like the shoot and fruit borers. Means these varieties can be always protect against the different types of the insects, so we can get a specific source of the food productions. After that, we have to also need the plant breeding for the improved food quality. Means we can capable to develop a hybrids varieties against the disease resistance and against the resistance to the insects and pests. But still we have to also think about that how we can capable to maintain the quality of the food. Means how we can also capable to improve the food quality all over our surroundings. For that, the different things, means we have to need the breeding plant to improve the food quality. Means we are doing the breeding of plants for the disease resistance, we are doing the plant breeding for the insect and pest resistance, but we also need to breed the plants to improve the food quality. For that we have to generally generally in our country that lack of the adequate food having the adequate nutritional requirements in all over the world means if we can get a very less amount of food and it which does not get the nutritional value in it, so there is a very difficult the different peoples of the world that they will get the adequate manner of nutritional what about their body required means the all the peoples all the living beings will not get the appropriate amount of the minerals appropriate amount the different nutritions in their world. That's why and we have to need the varieties of it, and there are lots of people in the world which are unable to buy such expensive foods. As we can see generally the people who have good economic condition they can buy the dry fruits, but if we talk about a general person they cannot capable to get the dry fruits. For that we have to think whatever they can buy we can to increase the food quality so they can also get the different kinds of nutrients. So we have to require this improved for the food quality. So the major peoples are unable to buy the enough fruits means they all people cannot get the fruits, all people cannot use the vegetables, all people cannot use the legumes or you can say pulses, all people never try to eat or get the fish meat. That's why we can say so they all are suffer from the deficiency of hidden hunger means indirectly we can say hidden hunger it is not only the that we are getting the sufficient amount of food, but still if we are not getting the appropriate adequate manners neutralized food material then we can say it is the hidden hunger means we are not getting the appropriate amount of the different kinds of nutritions. That's why we are say about this hidden hunger that we are not getting the food, that is not only hunger, but still if we are not getting all kinds of nutrition in our food so we can say this is also known as the hidden hunger. For that we have to just think about that the improved quality is needed. On the other hand we can say the essential macronutrients are absent from the diet means if we are not getting all kinds of food material we are not getting the fruits vegetables pulses and other nutritive materials in our food, so there is a lack of macronutrients due to which there is a very problems in our life. That's why we have to maintain to make all such type of to solve these problems. There are things that is a process that is called biofortification means there is a thing biofortification in which generally this is a method to developing crops with higher levels of vitamins minerals and proteins and healthier fats to improve public health means with the help of this biological process we can capable to develop the different varieties of the crop which can have the high level of vitamins high level of minerals high level of proteins and healthier fats to improve the our public. For that for the this biofortification has the objective to do especially it can with the help of improving the variety of the improvement with the protein content quality means the food should be have a large amount of the proteins as well as oil content quality means if the seed if the crop is producing the oil its oil containing quantity should be improved as well as the vitamin content quality should be improved and micronutrients and minerals content should be improved means for with the help of this biofortification process when the different scientists can capable to maintain to increase the quality of the protein oil containing seeds and vitamins micronutrients and mineral containing soils due to which there is a different lots of examples are seen in our places that is you can see especially as we can say the atlas 66 which can always help us for this one means there is a atlas 66 a specific variety of the wheat which contains protein. Generally the peoples can say they have the only the wheat contains carbohydrate, but still there is a different things which can be with the help of these biofortifications. Atlas 66 has used to donor for the developing of wheat varieties with the improved protein content. Means this type of variety can contains a large amount of the protein in it, that's why we can get it. After that there is another example for a maize variety is also developed. Maize hybrid can be developed, that is called it. With the help of this maize hybrid it can capable to increase the amount of amino acids lysine and tryptophan where the developed in 2000. Basically this can be done in those areas. After that there is another thing, that is you can say iron fortified rice. Means generally rice does not contain the iron, but there is a iron fortified rice which can be also increase the iron content in the rice also. In this way the different institutes of our India has developed. Basically Indian Agriculture Research Institute New Delhi released some specific type of things, specific type of crop varieties which can be have the release have some rice certain vitamins minerals. Means that they contain the different rice and minerals in them. After that they can also release a carrot, spinach and pumpkin with vitamin A. Means the carrot, spinach and pumpkin vitamin A, means they contain the vitamins. Then the bitter gourd as well as bathua, mustard, tomato which contains a large amount of the vitamin C. And then spinach and bathua which can again have the large amount of the calciums. And broad beans, labels, French beans and the garden peas which contains the proteins. Means basically the Indian Agriculture Research Institute which have developed some varieties of the specific plants which can be provide a different nutritional value. Basically again you can just make this table for your knowledge, that carrot, spinach and pumpkin which have the amount of vitamin A, as well as the bitter gourd, bathua, mustard, tomato which have the vitamin C, and spinach, bathua which contains the iron and calcium in them, as well as the broad beans and labelab and French beans, garden pea, they contains a large amount of protein. So with the help of this we can capable to get a large amount of things with the help of these. After that there is a special thing that is called SCP. SCP means the single cell protein. Means this is the alternative protein source for the animals and the human nutritions that can obtain from the certain microorganisms like spirulina. Means this SCP can capable to provide a large amount of protein except different sources from the plants or the animals. Except those we can get a large amount of protein with the help of microorganisms, that is called fungi, that is called the spirulina. Means it can capable to provide a large amount of things. Means there is another microbes like a spirulina, methylophilus and methylotrophus can be also grown in industrial scale, which can capable a good source of the protein. Means these microbes like spirulina, methylophilus and methylotrophus, these are different fungi structural organisms which can capable to provide a large amount of the material to a sufficient amount of the protein in our diet. For that the different people to start to grow is, so there is a different advantages about this. Means the first of all how we can capable to increase this productivity. Means then because they have the small this SCP can have specific type of advantages for the development of protein. Means the easy to grow, means these fungi, these microbes can easy to grow because microbes can be grown on the material like the wastewater from the potato processing plants and the straw, molasses and animals manure and sewage. Means we can get this nutritive material from such type of places where there is no effects for the surroundings. Means we can always, after using the water of the potato processing plant, we can just flow it, but they can be grown over there. The straw, we have seen the in the villages the large amount of water, right, that is bhusa, in which we can get this type of things. And another thing is that nutrient rich, basically these are the provide large amount of food rich in protein and minerals, fat, carbohydrate and vitamins. Means this SCP can help to provide a lot of it. Next, the reduce environmental pollution. Means if we can use or utilize these microbes, this type of wastage for the growing of this SCP, we can also have a large to reduce the environmental pollutions, because if these wastes can be found in our surroundings, due to which it can be just give the foul smells, these wastes can provide the foul smells, so we can get avoid from them and make our environmental clean. And last one is high yield. Means high yield basically generally due to high rate of the biomass production and growth, large amount of the are produces. That's why we can always use for this one. As for this high yielding, we can just get examples from our books. That is, if we talk about that 250 grams of the microorganisms like Methylophilus or Methylotropus is expected to produce 25 tons of proteins. Means if we can take a 250 kg of the cow milk, we will out of that we can always get only 250 gram of the protein. But if we are utilizing the 250 gram of the productions like Methylophilus and Methylotropus, which can capable to produce at least 225 tons of the protein. So it means that the single cell protein capable to provide a large amount of the production of the such type of proteins. That's why we have to utilize, we have to use such type of things. Means as you can see in different places that people can started to use the mushrooms. Why they people can use the mushrooms? Because of such type of conditions. So this way this topic is completed. Then tomorrow we will start the tissue culture and the last topic of this chapter. Thank you.